What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Warehouse Series, guys. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, if you could do that, I really appreciate it. You guys subscribing to me is just helping me out and helping progress this channel forward. I really appreciate it. Guys, hit the notification bell so you know when I post videos. Leave comments, any questions or comments in the section below. Also, join the Discord. I will leave that link in the description below, and give me a thumbs up. Today, something a little bit different. We're going to do a video breakdown on my order I did today at work today. I had about a 96-piece case order over in the dairy today, and it was a lot of small cases, and people are always requesting, how do you throw smaller case orders? So I tried to prop up my camera on my phone and my jack, and I think it turned out pretty good. So we're gonna go through my video breakdown today, and we'll conclude from there. All right, guys, so before I get started, I hope you guys appreciate all the editing I did. I did a lot of editing on this video, so this wasn't some long drawn out video. Guys, the eggs that I have on the back of my pallet, that is not how I build my pallet. I usually put the eggs up in the front of the pallet. I also usually have my pallet pushed all the way up to the jack, but I want you guys to be able to see the pallet, and I wanted you to be able to see me stacking. So I put the eggs on the back of the pallet. Let's play the video. All right, so we're gonna play the video. One thing, you know, it's weird watching yourself select. There's a lot of things that I noticed that I'm doing that I, probably haven't said in the past. One thing, whenever I get a lot of smaller cases, I put the problem cases in the middle of the pallet, and then I deal with it at a later time. You're gonna see a lot of double touching on these cases whenever I select. Stupid fly in here. So, I edited between every case. So that is my brother doing face app on Ace Ventura. People that did not want to be seen in the video, I didn't want people to say, hey, why'd you put me in your video? So I blocked them out with my brother's face. But guys, you could see I like to build up the middle of my pallet whenever I'm doing this. Once again, problem cases going in the middle of the pallet just to get out of my hair. One thing you do not want to get stuck on is if you have a case and you don't know where to put it at, you don't want to just sit there and stare at your pallet and look around, okay, because you're wasting time. Just stick that thing in the middle of your pallet and keep throwing, and there you go. I move it at a later time. So that's what you want to do, okay? I do move cases multiple times on smaller orders, but you notice that I do it quickly and efficiently. I'm not sitting there messing around, putting it here, here, here. I know exactly where I want to put that case. Once again, I move the case because I know that that's going to level up nice and level for me. I notice things like that whenever I'm selecting. If something goes up level, once again, you see my brother's face app on Ace Ventura. I love it. I was trying to pick something to block out people, and that's what I picked. At the end of this, I'm going to show you pictures of the finished product so you guys could, pause the video and actually look at that. Once again, okay, so these two cases right here, they're the only two cases that are like that in the owl. So I did not know if I was going to get the other one, so I put the one in the middle. So if I didn't get the second case that looked like that, I was going to just leave it in the middle. But I got the other case, so I lined them evenly. And there you go. I'm going to tie it in now. Like I said, guys, when remember on that one video, I said you're going to split your pallet in fours, and you're almost like building each section of the pallet at one time. And if you have a chance to tie it in, you're going to tie it in. But see how I'm stacking? It's just almost to the nature of column stacking, and I lock them in when I possibly can. Smaller case orders, you don't want to sit there and try to go layer by layer and layer stack. It's almost impossible because you have all different size boxes. You almost want to get into in the habit of stacking columns. And when you can tie in, you want to tie in. Once again, guys, that box right there, I'm going to be moving that later on. Guys, when you have a box that you have no idea what to do with, just set it down and keep selecting. It's going to come to you later on. It's all right to move cases multiple times whenever you're doing stuff like this. Smaller case orders are very hard to do, so you just want to you want to keep moving. You don't want to get paused too long on contemplating on where to put a case. Now that case right there, I noticed my middle column was actually leaning a little bit. So I do not want to put it directly on top of that case in the middle. I want to off center it so I can put some of the weight and distribute that weight to an opposite side. Because if I would keep stacking straight up like people do, then I'm going to have a problem, because that's just going to keep rocking that whole entire center column. So you want to off center it, and there you go. You know, so now I'm distributing that weight. It's a game, guys. You know, you want to distribute that weight around the pallet, so not everything's leaning to one side or the other. And when possible, you want to make things level. But it's not always necessary when you have a smaller case order. All right, guys, so I ended the video a little bit early there because you can't see me building on the back. So let's get to some still pictures. You know, here's a picture of the front. Once again, guys, you can see I like to keep the, you know, when possible, unless I have doubles and I can put it in a corner, I like to keep the problem cases in the middle. You can see the bottom of my middle column sort of leaning this way, and then I try to, you know, move it over and then go up. So like I said before, it keeps the weight from distributing all to one side. But guys, you know, I'm happy with this pallet. Like I said, I haven't thrown cases in a while, but you know, I'm very happy with the way this pallet turned out. Straight corners, imaginary lines. You can go imaginary lines from the pallet all the way up, and you're going to have straight lines. So that's what you want to do whenever you're building these cases. But look at this picture and try to get an idea if these cases resemble what you're throwing in your warehouse. And here's the side of my pallet. Once again, guys, I try to level stuff off when I possibly can. I just want to give you all angles of my pallet so you can look at them. Here is the back of my pallet. That yoke plate that's sideways, that corner, you know, it was rocking a little bit. I wanted to stick a case in there so there was no movement. Once again, you could reach in there, grab that yoke plate and pull it right out. There's no pressure on that case. That's how I like to build my pallets when possible. So here's, you know, just a little bit of the back of my pallet. All right, guys, so here's the side of my pallet. You know, a couple gaps in there, nothing major. You know, I'm pretty happy with the way this pallet turned out. It wasn't a huge order, you know, but it was a lot of smaller cases, and that's why I filmed it. So, you know, take a look at these pictures and try to get some ideas. All right, guys, so that's the final picture I want to show you. You know, I'm going to be selecting a little bit more, you know, because I'm working overtime. You know, you got Christmas coming up. I got some stuff I want to do around the house. So I need a little bit of extra money. So I'm going to be selecting a lot more. And guys, things that I noticed that, you know, that I didn't notice before is like the double touching the cases. I do it so like quickly that I'm not even realizing that I'm doing it on these smaller case orders. So, you know, that is one thing that I noticed that I did today. Another thing that I noticed is that I put problem cases in the middle until I want to deal with them later. If I have something that's going to line up with it later, then I move it again. But for, you know, immediately, if I have a problem case, I call problem cases ones that are awkward, bottles, something that's not lining up with something else. I put them in the middle of my pallet and I deal with them later because I want to keep moving. Another thing that I noticed that I do is I build up a corner on my juice pallet, and then I try to bring the rest of the pallet to equal that. It's almost like giving me a guide, you know, like, okay, I want to get the rest of my pallet here if I possibly can. I want to try to keep it level. I think that's how I keep my pallets level. I'm going to go over that juice pallet again and hopefully, you know, get that one out. If, you know, if I could film again, I will. Guys, I'm throwing every day now pretty much because I'm staying overtime. So I have a feeling a lot of these videos are going to come out. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys enjoyed this. A lot of editing, a lot of time into this because I wanted to get all the in-between travel time and all in the between of, you know, everything. Is just have case after case after case after case so you guys could see that. So let me know if you guys like it, and I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good one.